All right, more news of the day. It is that time of year. First off, the New York Islanders have added Andy Greene. Thus, the reason I'm wearing a New York Islanders jersey because that's the kind of defenseman you need. It doesn't completely replace Pelech, I guess, but Greene can play a lot more minutes than I think people may realize. And it's a very good move for both New Jersey and for the Islanders. And it's a sad ending for Greene, who played 923 games with the Devils. So, that's a shame. But I would think at some point, does New Jersey have some kind of a ring of honor like we have in Vancouver? Do they have something like, I don't know that you necessarily retire a number for Greene, but 923 games, he was there for quite a while. So what does New Jersey get back? They get a 2021 second round pick, and they get David Quinnville. David Quinnville was a 7th round, 200th overall pick in 2016. He's played 18 games in Bridgeport. He has 6 points there. He's also played the East Coast League this year. So they get back a prospect and a second round pick. Not a bad return for Andy Greene, who's got some miles on him, but it's a good ad for the New York Islanders, who clearly have decided to do something. Now, it's not going to add goals, but it's going to help the blue line, which may very well help the forwards at the same time. So, that being said, and again, I'm giving the Islanders the win because they're getting back a pretty decent defenseman in Greene. Borowiecki's out at least a week for the Ottawa Senators, so why put that on the board? Because Borowiecki may have been a trade piece for the Ottawa Senators, and if he's out right until the trade deadline, could that affect things? That being said, if he's ready to come back in a week, could that affect things? So if he comes back next Sunday, on Monday morning, do we see him get moved? And keep in mind, there will be a live stream on this channel for the trade deadline. I intend to have some fun with it this year because I don't anticipate there being a lot of big names. So maybe I'll have a board and I'll put like Crosby and Ovechkin and a bunch of names on it. We can talk about where they could move and what they could do. That's right. Bold trade deadline predictions of things that won't happen. We got sites out there right now that are making bold predictions that won't happen. I think you go big. I think you go with Crosby, McDavid, Draisaitl, Bergeron. Put all the big names on the board, and then when none of them get moved, you go, that's pretty much right. But we had all the big names on the board, and nobody else did. Take that, TSN and Sportsnet. One thing about the Evander Kane thing. So Evander Kane came out yesterday and was very upset about the way that player safety does things. Now, just so people know, I have a board set up right here where I have come up with some points of what the NHL could do, and I've even brought out my referee's jersey for that one. Not for funny reasons, but because, yes, if players are upset and if fans are upset, then maybe the NHL needs to look at doing things differently. So I came up with some ideas. I've had some ideas for a while. I threw them all on the board, and I will discuss them, and we can discuss it as a channel, and we're not going to pass it along to the NHL because the NHL don't really care. But we can still have that discussion. But does the NHL have a discussion with Kane because Kane has come out and criticized the entire system? Do they just allow that to go and not say anything? Now, there was some debate about whether or not he pulled that tweet with the statement. I still saw it, but other people didn't. I don't know what's going on there. But, yeah, will the NHL actually have to talk to Kane? Because, again, it's this whole Pandora's box that's been opened up by him complaining about getting suspended when others didn't. And so there is something to be said, and that's why there's a board behind me with what they may or may not be able to do. Lundqvist, he didn't start today for the Rangers either, and I think we're up to that point where are they trading him? And I know he's got a no trade clause. I know that he's still got that contract. He's not a rental if somebody picks him up, but clearly it's Georgiev's net until Shesterkin's good to go again, and it's done. David Quinn said Shesterkin's the starter. Well, now he's clearly saying Georgiev's the backup, the de facto starter while Shesterkin's out. Lundqvist hasn't been in the net in weeks, so I really think they're going to trade him or something. I don't know. Are they going to talk him into Luongo status? Do they talk him into, well, does your knee hurt? Does it hurt now? Do you want to go on LTIR? How about now? So what do you do? What do you do with Henrik Lundqvist if you're the New York Rangers? Today, Leon Draisaitl adds 2 more points. He's up to 94. We'll talk about that in the review, but Leon Draisaitl continues his absolute demolishing of the NHL as he gets to his scoring title. And it does remind me somewhat of Kucherov last year, where Kucherov's just continually piling up the points, got 128. This year it's been a little bit... It's been a lower point total, but we didn't expect Kucherov to get 128 again. And for Draisaitl, he's kind of having that kind of year. I don't know if he can replicate this, but it's kind of special to watch while it's going on. The Blues and the Anaheim Ducks, of course, had a game that didn't end up being finished due to Jay Bouwmeester collapsing at the bench. Thank God he's okay. That game is now rescheduled for March 11th. So St. Louis and Anaheim will have a matchup in Anaheim. In order to accommodate this, the game between Florida and St. Louis that was to take place in St. Louis on March 10th has been moved to March 9th. So that game's rescheduled, and so that fixes that issue. They didn't have to move a whole lot around, just the one game, and we'll see how that goes. So the game will start with a score of 1-1. That both goals still count. I assume that the saves that the goalies had still count, but it will be a full 60-minute game. So we'll see how the whole thing shakes out. It is such a rare occasion that I don't remember if the game will show that it's a 67-minute, 50-second game or what they'll do with it. But at any rate, it has been rescheduled, and it will take place, and it does make a difference to Florida. Florida gets affected by this, and obviously St. Louis and Anaheim as well. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Keep in mind, I'm just one guy in a room here. Last night I was doing videos till I think it was 1:15 before I was done on the channel and looking at comments and whatnot, to the point where I'm just seeing a bunch of comments about go to bed. Which, yeah, I mean, when you've got the cat snoring behind you and your wife's sleeping and the kids are sleeping, and you're like, I'm the only person still up. I've been up for hours beyond everybody else. And you have to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning because you've got to get boards ready for your videos for the next day, and there's early morning games and all that. And then Shadow decided to start being a jerk and harassing one of our cats upstairs, which led to me bringing him down here. There's a door you can lock between the upstairs and downstairs, so I thought, all right, I'll lock that door. It won't be a problem. Nope, Shadow decided he had to cry at that door for the next half hour while I tried to go to sleep. So it was about 2:45 before I got to sleep last night, and then I was back up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at 8 a.m. Yeah, the weekends, it makes me think, once the regular season's done, that'll actually be kind of nice. It's kind of a break. Even with the triple overtimes and things that can happen, it actually does allow me to catch up on some rest on weekends, and it does make things a little less chaotic because you can't have these 10, 11, 12, 14 game nights, and I don't do power rankings anymore. So there you go, just a little window into how my weekend's been going. Let me know how your weekend is going in the comment section below. And Shadow's lucky he's not dead. Because I openly talked about it with Yvonne. She was going to church, and I said, by the way, while you're out, Shadow may very well be dead before you get home, because I'm debating about it. So he's lucky. I know, yeah, you don't think you're lucky, but you are. Anyway, don't look at me like that. I'm just having this discussion. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. I will talk to you again soon.